Hello, and welcome to Cooking with Chrissy. I'm Christina, and this evening I'm going to show you how to make this fabulous plate of chicken fettuccine Alfredo. Hello, and welcome to Cooking with Chrissy. I'm Christina, your host, and this evening I'm going to provide you with a recipe for making homemade chicken Alfredo. Okay, this evening we're going to be starting with, I have 2 large boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You can use whatever meat you prefer. If you want to use the thighs or whatever you like better, white meat, dark meat, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be using half and half. I also have some onion salt, garlic salt. Usually I use onion salt and garlic powder. A little bit of black pepper, some oregano. I also will be using some fresh garlic with this dish. I have some linguine pasta noodles, and then I have some fresh Parmesan Reggiano cheese. A couple of pallets of butter. You can go with butter, margarine. I can't believe it's not butter, whatever you prefer to use. And a little bit of cooking oil to help sear the chicken in the pan. Oil here, my vegetable oil in my pan for searing my chicken real quick. I put a little butter in there as well to add a little more of a flavor on there. And then back here I've got my butter going for the Alfredo sauce, as well as I already have my noodles up to a boil, so I can just start the chicken and put the noodles in next. Okay, you're going to want to go ahead and season your meat nicely. I went with the onion salt and the black pepper and some oregano on the one side. On the other side I'll be doing a little bit of cayenne pepper just to add that kick, and probably a little bit of garlic powder on the other side to kind of incorporate some different flavors. And add the meat to my pan. I turned it down so it's going to add a nice sear, but it won't burn. Of course, I'll be working it immediately so I can keep sure to brown it nicely. Okay, back here I'm going to go ahead and start the Alfredo sauce as well. It takes about 10 minutes or so to go ahead and get together and mixed really well and thicken up for you. So once you do have the chicken in and started with that, you'd like to go ahead and work on your Alfredo. Okay, I have the 2 pallets of butter here, and I'm going to add just a little bit of fresh garlic, not very much. You don't need a lot. You don't want to overpower it. You're really going for a nice fresh Alfredo flavor, not overpowered with garlic. I'm going with 1 clove. I think that'll be more than enough. Ooh, careful. See, that's a pretty good amount. I think that'll be fine. I'm on a low heat, as you can see, because you don't want to brown that garlic at all. It'll cause it to turn into a very bitter tasting. You just want to kind of add a little bit of aromatics and a little bit of flavor in there. Okay, I'm going to turn it up just a little bit on about a 4, not quite to a medium heat, and I'm going to go ahead and add in my cream. Now, the original recipe called for heavy whipping cream, but one day I'd gone up to the store and I was working on a budget, a little tighter than usual sometimes. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and go with 2 cups of half and half. You can use a light version of this, a fat-free version of this, however you prefer, whatever you like to use. But as I was saying, I was going to go get the heavy whipping cream. Well, the heavy whipping cream was like almost $4. And I thought, well, maybe I can do something else. So I ended up going with half and half. And surprise, surprise, by the way, it thickened up beautifully. The flavors were all there. So since then, I've been going with the half and half, and everybody still raves about how good my Alfredo is. Of course, you will want to continuously mix this Alfredo. Now that I've got the cream in there, I'm going to want to bring it up to a nice light simmer. And then at that point, I'll start adding the Parmesan Reggiano. I'm going to keep this on standby because sometimes, if you go, usually the ratio is 2 cups of cream, 1 cup of the Parmesan, depending on how many people you are cooking for. This will probably, like I've got 2 chicken breasts, I'm going to go ahead and feed 4 people with this. And what I'll do is I'll slice it down. I'll show you at the end of the dish how I present everything. But this is for about 4 people. It's nice to have the extra half and half though, So you can either, thin the sauce out a little bit if it's too thick, or however you like the consistency. But yeah, so far 2 cups of the cream to 1 cup of the Parmesan. Okay, now that I got the chicken kind of browned a little bit on both sides, I'm going to go ahead and kick it up to about a 3/4 heat so I can start cooking it along. I'm going to add a little bit of oregano to my cream and butter. And I'll also add a little bit of more black pepper down here in the cream butter combination. Once I get it to a nice simmer, that's when I'll add the Parmesan. Kind of play around with your chicken a bit. Yeah, coming along nicely. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my noodles since we're ready to go there. I have 1 pound. I'm going to actually add a little bit more than 1 pound. I got 1 pound and a quarter. Again, I'm going to be serving 4 people, and this will allow me to have a little leftovers for lunch tomorrow. Okay, I've got a real nice brown on both sides of my chicken here. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off. I've turned it multiple times on both sides to get a nice brown. As you can see, the chicken came out beautifully. I'm going to go ahead and take it off the heat and put it off to the side to rest. There we are. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and switch pans over so I can finish down the sauce. I've been simmering the sauce, low heat so it's not sticking to the bottom or anything. I'm fixing to go ahead and incorporate my cheese in there. The noodles are boiling down nicely. Let's go ahead and put the cheese in. And now once you get the cheese in there, you're going to want to continuously stir. You're not going to want to stop. And you're going to want to make sure you're on a lower heat to start with, and then bring it up to a simmer. It takes a little bit of time to get it going, but once it does, it doesn't take any time to thicken because, of course, I've been simmering earlier on in before I put the cheese. This is when it starts thickening, and you can determine, well, do I want to make a little more sauce? You can add a little more cheese. You can add a little more cream to thin it out, however you want. I like mine medium thick, and it'll take a couple minutes for it to come to a boil, but you don't want to bring it up to a hard boil. You just want to bring it out to a quick simmer, and then just keep an eye on it. Again, you want to continuously stir. I'm going to go ahead and pop the garlic bread in the oven. Yes, folks, we can make homemade fresh garlic bread, but again, we're going for a little quick and easier, not quite so time consuming, so I just buy the store brand and put it in there. It tastes really good. Okay. My sauce is done. I pulled a sneaky on you guys. I like my chicken a little more done after browning it the first time. So I pulled it out and sliced it as you can see. And I'm just kind of rolling it around in the pan, just one last turn before I serve. This kind of browns everything up, and of course it gives you the opportunity to make sure that everything's been cooked thoroughly. And so we're just about ready to serve. Alrighty, everything's done, ready to serve. You can check your sauce by, of course, as you commonly do with your bechamels and Alfredos. It stays apart, so you're good. My family, now a lot of people like to go ahead and just put all the noodles in with the Alfredo sauce and mix it all together. I like to go ahead and just separate everything. I usually just take my noodles like this, ladle a nice portion of Alfredo sauce all the way around on the dish. Looks great. My family does not mind that way I serve. A little messy, but. And then, of course, this beautiful platter of chicken here. That was 2 chicken breasts, butterflied, and cooked down nicely and browned. I'll add a handful of that on top. And, of course, you can determine, they like a lot or they like a little. And then a couple pieces of garlic sticks. I cut mine in sticks on the side. Makes it easier to... And here we are. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for visiting. Again, I'm Christina. I hope you enjoyed our dish this evening. I think your family will love it as well. Thank you for your time. Enjoy.